Hi, I'm Maya Feller, and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, and this is Mind Body Green Dishes. I'm going to walk you through how I make scallion shrimp and grits. This dish is bursting with omega-3s, and it is full of whole grains and heart-healthy fibers. Okay, so let's get started with the grits. I like to use stone ground corn because it's a whole grain, and I love whole grain because it's packed with fiber. Great for your digestion, fantastic when we're thinking about your microbiome, really nutritious all around, filled with vitamins and minerals. So the way that I do it is I do equal parts water and milk, and then I add in a little bit of bay leaf for flavor and spice. So now I'm gonna just drop these right on in here. I'm going to take 2 bay leaf. If you want to do more, you absolutely can. So now I want to add Mind Body Greens Organic Veggies Plus. It's for an extra dose of sea veggies. So I'm going to add this into my grits, and I'm going to be sure that I stir it really well. Okay, so now we're on to the second part, which is the shrimp and scallion and all of the spices. You may be thinking, shellfish, it doesn't have as much omega-3 as the cold water and fatty fish. It is true, however, it does still have meaningful amounts. Also, tinned shrimp is a really shelf-stable and affordable way to have seafood, in your pattern of eating. The current recommendations are to have seafood twice per week, and this is a great way to get it. So I'm gonna open this up, and I always like to rinse anything that's in a can because let's say there's some sodium in there. Rinsing it twice will cut the sodium content by up to 40%. And if there are any unwanted additives or preservatives, I can also reduce those simply by rinsing them. Okay, so now I've got my shrimp. I'm gonna put it right here and we're gonna get going with all of these delicious spices and flavors. All right, so I've got my cast iron pan. I'm gonna turn on my stove and I want to heat it up a little bit. I'm going to use broth in place of oil. I like to use broth because it imparts flavor, but I'm not getting the additional fat. Listen, I've got no issue with fat, but in a recipe like this, when we're really thinking about letting the omega-3s from the seafood shine, that's where I want my fat to come from. So we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of broth into the pan. And then I want to take some garlic. I love garlic. Garlic is absolutely fantastic. Wonderful antioxidants. Gonna put some celery seed in. I'm gonna do a couple of good pinches here. I really like celery seed because it's a fantastic way of adding flavor without the added salt. And as we all know, the FDA has just asked us to reduce our sodium intake so that it's better for our heart. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of dill in because who doesn't want dill for the phytonutrients and also the complement for the seafood? I'm gonna put a little bit of paprika because I love this red color as well as flavor. I'm gonna let everything come together. Do a little mix here. I can see that it's starting to boil and the aroma is just really coming up. So you'll notice in this dish that I relied heavily on herbs and spices. Herbs and spices are fantastic when it comes to phytonutrients and antioxidants. They're a great way to bring flavor to your dishes without adding extra sugar, salts, or fats. I'm gonna add in a little bit of scallion here. I'm gonna go again, just because why not? And listen, you can really play with the combination yourself and find the flavors that you like. Okay, now because the tinned shrimp has already kind of been broken down a little bit and it's not like using fresh shrimp, I don't need to cook it so long. Now, shrimp, as we said, is a good source of your omega-3s. So when we add them to our pattern of eating twice per week, we see the health benefits that are associated with them. All right, so I'm gonna mix them in. Oh, this is looking extra gorgeous. And all the flavors are really fantastic. So I'm gonna let that sit aside. And I'm gonna let it kind of cook for, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And then we're gonna check on the grits and we're gonna plate the whole thing. When you're thinking about tinned seafood, it's always important to think a little bit about sustainability, right? You want to look for a tinned seafood option that has had a third-party verification, and especially one that's centered around responsible sourcing and taking care of the oceans. That way you know that your tinned seafood has been responsibly harvested. In my practice, we recommend that people eat seafood twice per week, and it really can be any type of seafood that you know and love. We always say that tinned fish is an affordable and shelf-stable option. We really love it in terms of cardiovascular health overall because it can be a fantastic complement really to thinking about brain health, cardiovascular health, and whole body health in general. Okay, so now we're gonna spoon this gorgeous shrimp and scallion onto this platter here, and I cannot wait to eat it. It smells incredible. And you'll notice that these tin shrimp are tiny. They're really small, but they're incredibly delicate and delicious. I'm gonna add a little bit of the gravy here so that my grits have some flavor, and it looks absolutely wonderful. I'm Maya Feller, and this was Mind Body Green Dishes, and thanks for joining me.